All right, if you've ever worked in tech or even near it, you've probably heard it. That sound. The sound of a battle as old as code itself. A fight that happens in every Slack channel and Jira ticket. I'm talking, of course, about the legendary tug of war between developers and quality assurance. The great bug versus feature debate. You know how it goes. It always starts with a simple report. Something in the app just isn't working the way you'd expect. And that report, usually from a QA tester, kicks off a conversation so common, it's basically a meme in the software world. And there it is, the first line of defense almost every time. The developer, who has probably spent hours, maybe even days, crafting this code, confidently states that the system is doing exactly what it was programmed to do. But right on cue, here comes the immediate, perfectly logical counter from QA. It's such a simple question, right? But it cuts right to the heart of everything. If it's not a bug, then what do you call it when the whole thing just falls apart? Okay, so to really settle this, we need to get on the same page. We have to understand what we're even talking about. The words bug and feature actually have pretty specific meanings in software development, but the real debate always seems to happen in that murky gray area between them. When you look at it like this, side by side, it seems so clear, doesn't it? A bug is an error. It breaks things, it causes crashes, it confuses people. A feature is intentional, it's documented, and it works. Simple. Or is it? Because in the real world, that line gets blurry fast. And that complication, well, that's what leads us to the classic arguments. These are the lines you will hear in development teams all over the world. So let's walk through a typical exchange. The quintessential developer response. And you know what? It's probably true. In their own controlled, perfect development environment with all the right tools and settings, the code probably runs flawlessly. But here's the problem. Users don't live on the developer's machine. And boom, that's the QA perspective in a nutshell. Their job isn't just to test the code in some perfect lab. No, their job is to guess how a real, messy, unpredictable human is going to interact with it out in the wild. So the QA tester makes it dead simple. They provide a clear, easy-to-reproduce scenario. Step 1, you click the Submit button. Step 2, the app completely crashes. It's a direct, undeniable problem report. But the developer might come back with this one. An edge case is a problem that only happens under very specific or unusual conditions. Maybe the user clicked the button 3 times really fast or tried to upload a weird file. The developer sees it as a scenario that's just unlikely to happen. And here is the absolute truth bomb from the QA side. The real world is the edge case. Real users don't follow the perfect path we imagine for them. They get distracted, they double-click everything, they do all the things a developer never ever planned for. And good software has to be tough enough to handle that chaos. Okay, here's another classic argument. A developer might close a ticket and just write, expected behavior. What they mean is, the code is doing precisely what it was written to do. No more, no less. This question is just so powerful. It challenges the entire premise. Okay, it's expected, but by who? Was it expected by the product manager? By the designer? And, most importantly, was this behavior expected by the actual person using the software? And from a purely logical, technical point of view, the developer is 100% correct. The behavior is expected by the lines of code they wrote. The machine is just following its instructions perfectly. And there it is. That's the fundamental disconnect, right there. Users don't care what the code says. They have no idea. They just care about their experience. Is this thing intuitive? Does it help me? And does it crash when I'm in the middle of doing something important? So after all this back and forth, how do you actually end the debate? How do you decide who's right? Well, the answer is to shift your perspective completely, away from the code and toward the person who's actually going to use the thing. So, who is it? Is it the developer who built the system exactly to the technical specs? Or is it the QA tester who's representing the often chaotic reality of the end user? Well, here's the ultimate tiebreaker, the user's experience. It's really that simple. If a user can break it, even if it's some crazy edge case, it's a bug. If a user can't figure out how to use it without a manual, that's a bug in the design. And if the behavior surprises literally everyone, the user, the product owner, the tester, then yep, you guessed it, it's a bug. And all of this brings us to the real, true purpose of quality assurance. See, it's not about being difficult or pointing fingers. It's about playing a very specific and absolutely vital role in creating software that people actually love to use. Let's be crystal clear about something.
A QA tester's job is not to break the application. The application, it was already broken.
Their job is to find the cracks. They get to be the very first user, and they simulate all the weird, unpredictable, and sometimes illogical ways that real people will interact with the product. They don't create the problems. They shine a light on them so they can be fixed before a real customer ever sees them. So the next time you come across something weird in a piece of software, don't just ask if the code is technically correct. Ask yourself if the experience is correct. Because if it doesn't actually serve the user, well, you might just be looking at a bug in features clothing.